going, and that is where a lot of young men and women are able to express themselves. That's why I keep saying we must stop talking about the negative things in this community. We must uplift the positiveness of Haynesville. Over at the Desmond Haynes Pavilion and St. John the Baptist Field over there. You know, this community has produced the most outstanding sportsmen and women of any community in Barbados. When you look at the top cricketers in Barbados, they are from St. James, South Waterson, and the surrounding community. When you look at the top golfers, they're from this community. The only name I call for the community is Sheldon Wardle, who's abroad doing some work now with her substantive post in the BDF. The top female road tennis player in Barbados. And I remember when Sheldon started out, when we played the road tennis. As a matter of fact, she beat me in the game. I felt embarrassed as a man to be beaten by a woman in road tennis. But I was just not good enough. But Sheldon has done exceptionally well. But not only has her success been to her own attribute, but it's also a reflection of the fact that others can do it as well if given the opportunity. And that is why when I looked at the lawn tennis court over there by John the Baptist, but by the playing field over there by Desmond Haynes Pavilion, it was full of cracks, it was full of craters. And I was told that the government did not have the money to fix it. I said, well, that is unacceptable in my books. It needs to be done. And I went forth and found private sector groups. ICBL, Easy Pavement, those, and they came together. And today has produced a top quality lawn tennis court over there. But there is much more to do. Because whilst I'm supporting formations, whether the Stilettos, netball team that plays over there, I too want them to have the same quality court to play netball in. But that can only happen if you re-elect me as your parliamentary representative. I want to have proper bathroom facilities and changing facilities over there at that playing field as well. But it's founded in a philosophy that says that each young boy and each young girl must be given the opportunity to achieve their full potential. I do not want a Barbados where you can only succeed because of the color of your skin, your surname, or whichever wall house you live in. The folks, the young people in Haynesville have the same right to succeed in life as my own children who may live over there in Hasma Heights. And please, when my son, the older one in particular who likes the line over here, when you see him misbehaving himself, please join the line for me. He's a nice young boy, but if you get on the line, put a couple of ball. But at least, you know, my children have never been raised to feel that they are more important than anybody else's child. And I'm very proud when they come to hands and somebody tell me, my son is down here doing so and so, and like me, and whatnot. That's the way I've raised my children. I can't speak to my opponent the way she raises her children. That is a matter that I don't know. But we have done well in this community, ladies and gentlemen. When you look around the infrastructure, even the bridge from Aki coming over here, that has been in need of repairs. Things were tight. But you know, I went there a few weeks ago at MTW. I realized that the structure underneath was really termite infested. And it said that the good office, and we have good public offices who labor under some of the most strenuous circumstances to make our lives better. I want to publicly thank those in the Ministry of Public Works, those in the Department of Drainage, those in the Ministry of Health, the Bushing Program, and several others who have really helped to make our community here in Haynesville and St. James South as comfortable as possible. Oftentimes they have gone way beyond the call of duty, and they publicly thank them for that. I expect that bridge to soon be completed. I was over there this afternoon. I saw the jacks are up, the decking is done, the steel work is done, and I believe that they have scheduled by Friday or early next week to have the concrete poured, and the people in Haynesville, Traverse, and Watersfield, the Aki, and those places will have a nice concrete bridge to walk on, safe and secure. That is what parliamentary representatives are about. It's not about taking people's pictures and posting on social media. It's not about invading people's privacy. It's not about coming and making false promises. It's not about coming to your houses and shaking your hands and then going in your car and washing it off with antiseptic or what they call it.
I sent a bottle of water,
Ricky, going back to predecessor, talk about the bottle of water in the fridge and center.
Ricky people.
Because those people who you see busy around here like bees, dressed in their ring, when they are beaten in a couple of weeks' time, you will not see them or hear from them again. I live in this constituency. I have no desire to go any other place. I am committed to people like Haynesville and St. James South, and with every sinew in my body, I shall so remain here. So I'm going to have a lot more to say in this. In terms of national politics, now in the 10 minutes or so, the chairman has allocated me, even though this is my equipment, I ain't paying for any. Look, let me tell you something. I am mindful that politics runs in two paradigms. There's the national, there's the local or parochial issue, constituency issue, and there's also the national issue. My party have taken licks over the last couple of years. When I look at what they say about us as a government and individuals, sometimes I shout and say when I talk about we have, ladies and gentlemen, here in Haynesville and surrounding areas, we have presided over this economy and society at a time when globally the whole world has been challenged. The world is going through an upheaval. It has not yet settled down. In 2008-9, when we had the global financial crisis, Barbados was affected by it. This lifetime was affected by it. And it really highlighted the structural deficiencies in our system, both in terms of government administration and our macroeconomy. Bottom line is that we were living a life that was not sustainable. We borrowed to keep things going. And I always say that running a national economy is not dissimilar to running a household. When you have to face the challenges of a reduction in income in your household, you got to look for places to start cutting back if you want to maintain a certain quality of life. That is the reality we have to face. That's the reality that you have had to face in husbands. That's the reality you've had to face in Haynesville, in Wonston, in West Terrace, in this entire constituency and nation. We were forced to come to a crossroad where we had to make a decision in terms of the direction to go. And I want to speak with you all level of seriousness tonight, because I feel passionate and sincere about these matters. We could have continued to maintain that line in that life and find that we wreck the future of generations to come. Instead, this Democratic Labour Party, which by the way I officially joined on July 15, 1985, took a position that we had to rein in some expenditure, that we had to cut back on certain costs, that we had to adjust some taxation. It was all designed to ensure that we maintain the fundamental fabric of this economy and society. As David Thompson, late great David Thompson once said, Barbados is not just an economy, it's a society. And when many others around us were crumbling, we were holding steadfast, albeit with a little bit of hurt, a little bit of pain. I remember going to a meeting in Paris a few years ago and being told by a Jamaican colleague, not counterpart, colleague I should say, that Barbados is the next Greece of the Caribbean. That was when Greece was going through all the issues and things. And I smiled and looked at him and said, well, you've been an IMF for a while, for the days of my commanding. We have not gotten there yet. And there are others, what annoys me, I want you, the people at Haynesville, to ensure your blinkers are off. They're going to come around here and they're going to say we've had downgrades by lending institutions. They're going to say Barbados has gone to hell in a handbasket. All these things they're going to say about Barbados. They're going to make you feel that you're living in the worst place on earth. They're going to make you feel that the only place worse than Barbados itself. But let me tell you this. We have not introduced any austerity programs at IMF for those who they wanted us to do. We have not devalued the Barbados dollar. Our healthcare system still works, and I'm proud to say the Barbados healthcare system is the best in the Caribbean. And I'm going to speak a lot of healthcare in this country going forward over the next couple of weeks. Our education system has been voted among the top 10 in the world. You know all the talk about how bad things are here in Barbados. I go over to West Terrace Primary School and I get so excited and happy when I see those young boys and girls in their crisp uniforms learning. When I see qualified teachers teaching our young charges. When I see a principal who is making best of whatever is available to her, I see the future of Barbados. I do not see an education system in Barbados as you have in other parts of the Caribbean, where at the primary school level you have to pay if you wish to get an education. And talking about education, one of the issues that the Barbados Party is talking about in this campaign, right here in St. James South, is that we as a government introduce a fee-paying system at University of West Indies, Cape Hill, 20% of the tuition costs. And I know that I will take some licks in this constituency for my views on that matter, but let me tell you something here. I can only speak my mind. You see a lot of frauds that got around about here from the Barbados Party. Then they try to speak other people's mind. I can only speak the opponent's mind. Is that water? Oh Lord. I fully supported the decision to introduce that fee at University of West Indies. A couple of reasons. University of West Indies is just not sustainable, has not been sustainable. And for those who say that the Democratic Labour Party has rolled back the hands of time and bartending, Grave said it, they need to go back to Barr's speech in 1967 when he said that University of West Indies and free education is not sustainable in Barbados. But not only did we have to make that decision because of broader macroeconomic issues, but also because you had a principal at the University of West Indies Cape Hill campus, Henry Beckles, who on the historian, you saw a phenomenal rise in the administrative cost of the University of West Indies. A lot of glitz and glamour, and as far as I am personally concerned, not enough substance around here. But not only that, I want to engage with you, the residents of Haynesville, not just as a politician, but as a parent. I grew up, as I said, in Bayview, St. Philip. My father was a fisherman, my mother was an agricultural labor. There were 8 of us, 2 girls and 6 boys. One of the boys, may he rest in peace, passed away a few weeks ago. But we were taught about hard work. My parents had to struggle. Now I think that having reached a certain point in life, after getting those subsistence and support from the state, that people like myself should not be dependent on the state for the same things, or my children should not be dependent on the state for the same things that I got back in the 1970s and 80s. I think some of us who have done reasonably well ought to be able to take care of things on our own and let those who are less fortunate be assisted more by the state. But what has been happening in Barbados is that the state continues to provide to all and sundry, regardless of socio-economic circumstances. So when I hear my dear friend Mayor Motley, who I'm prepared to lock horns with in this campaign, nothing to do with my personal friendship and girlfriend and whatever. I do not deny it. Miss Motley has been my friend now for over 30 years. I enjoy her company.
Girlfriend?
They are nice. We are good friends. I'm not going to deny that at all. And let me make it very clear to all of you here tonight. Barbados is so small a society for us to despise people because of their political persuasion. Some of my best friends are members of the Barbados Labour Party. I do not apologize for that because I did not choose their friendship because in political party they support. I wish they would have thought otherwise. But the point remains, as I reflect upon the education system and its motley economy on the whole, here's a situation where all the evidence is clear that a lot of what we're doing has not been sustainable. And the Barbados Party has come and said it's not, things are bad. The economy is in shambles. But they're going to, if elected, abolish the National Social Responsibility Levy. They're going to reduce that. They're going to eliminate a whole set of taxes. But then, they're going to reinstate free university education at all levels for all people.
Where the money coming from?
Where the money coming from?
All right.
But, Sister Blackie, were you buried in that sheep? Where the money come from? And that's why I keep saying that we as a country, we as a nation, but we as a family must sit down and discuss these issues. Do not be hoodwinked. The reality about it is that some of those days will not return. So when Miss Motley and the Barbados Labour Party and Miss Husband and those come and say to you that they are going to restore total free university education, but nothing's free, by the way.
Nothing is free.
That they're going to ensure that all the healthcare system is free, etc. You must ask them, where's the money going to come from? How many public servants are they going to send home? How many workers, how many residents in Hayesville will get sent home? And you know they don't ever have an answer. All they say is give us a chance. Put us there. And we will therefore determine these things.
Do nothing.
Look, they have the same information about this economy. They have the same central bank reports as I do. So their decisions, obviously, with the same information, can't be same as mine. And I want to say to you residents of Hayesville, do not let any politician, BD, UPP, PPP, whoever they are, come into your midst and insult your intelligence. We've invested too much in you for you to be hoodwinked. Those days of all of this freeness in Barbados cannot be sustained. What can be sustained though is when those of us who've done reasonably well and move on can contribute enough to help those who are less fortunate. And in that way, I'm satisfied that those of you in Hayesville who wish to reach the stars will get there. So pay careful attention to what the Barbados Labour Party is offering. And I'm going to wind up just now on a few points. Because it said that we have done nothing. This is an election, ladies and gentlemen, where you are going to have to sit down quietly and think long and hard, not just about the present, but about the future. We are on a journey together. There can be no turning back now. And if you make the wrong decisions, if you get emotional at this point in time, you may very well be in a situation where you destine not just your future, but your children and your grandchildren's future to a dark part in their development. We don't want that for you. I want to see a Barbados where each one of you can achieve your full potential. We have the business community as ministry responsible for small business. And I'm going to stop on this issue in this campaign because my opponent likes to promote itself as an individual who's an expert on small business, consultancy, small business development, etc. But never sold lemonade at a school fair. So don't know the cost of the line, the water, the sugar, the ice, the marketing, nothing sold that they know. But want to promote themselves as an expert and call themselves a consultant, which in my books is really a term for someone who cannot find meaningful employment. So at 60 years old, having been a successful failure in life, you want to come to people of Hazel and say that you are some guru of small business? Well, I was involved in small business from the age of 15.
15 years.
I was selling macrame plant pot hires at $5 a piece in order to make money to take a girlfriend to send them on the plaza in the Olympic back then. Of course, I was grateful that the bus fare is not too high then. But I've always had the experience of running businesses. And that is why under my stewardship as minister responsible for small business, we laid in Parliament the first strategic plan to develop the small business sector in Barbados. My opponent, who served as president of the Small Business Association, could never get past the minutes of the first meeting in the first year that she was there. I was delivering because I'm not just about talking, I believe in delivering and about substance. We provided 2 years ago, almost, an additional $10 million to fund access to online to micro businesses in Barbados. We are creating more jobs now in the small business sector thanks to that. When we look at government procurement policies, there's also created that. If you say that you don't see me too often in Hazel and St. James South, appreciate that when it comes to business example, I've been taking Barbadian small businesses down to St. Lucia, Guyana, Grenada, Panama, Cuba, all over the world, China.
All over the world.
Because I believe in leading from in front. And I recognize that we have businesses in Barbados with tremendous potential. And in spite of all the fiscal challenges and the hardship that the Barbados Parliament talk about, I said to BAC and others, you need to increase exports by 10% per annum year as it means. And we've been taking delegations around to sell Barbadian goods and services around the region. Ordinary Barbadian entrepreneurs who are serious are now recognizing the opportunity and grabbing hold of it. At the time when the Barbados Party says that nothing is happening, I challenge the Barbados Party to come out and say what they will do for the micro and small business sector in this country that the Democratic Party has not yet done. And we must not be stopped in this. We cannot afford at this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, to say let us pause, let us put the BLP in there and give them a chance. To do what?
To brighten the country again?
To fatten their own personal pockets?
40 years.
They had 40 or 50 years and they haven't.
I didn't do nothing.
You hospital.
You know that there's a lot to talk about in this campaign.
What to do?
International business. No matter that I don't talk nothing platform about, but we have faced the greatest challenges in this.
Yes, that is true for you.
And as minister tasked with leading that sector, I didn't sit here and just send me an email and send me a file. I got up and went to Paris, London, Georgia, Tbilisi in Georgia, other parts of the world, and robustly engaged with counterparts. You know why? Because when I sit with those ministers from developed countries around the world, I do not feel inferior. Because I am proud of the education I got at St. Catherine's Primary School, at Harrison College, at Community College, University of Guyana, University, West Indies, and wherever. And I have gone forth and stood up on your behalf and very defended this little island. When people wanted to shut us down, I said, look at the beam in your eye before you look at the mote in our eyes. And Barbados is held steadfast.
Number one.
Barbados is still the number one blackie in many respects in the national business sector. All that they talk about here, you know what annoys me as a politician, as a young black man in this country, is to see how we are our own worst enemies. Every blinking moment that they can find the opposition, and some of the apologists in the media elsewhere, they will spew negative things about Barbados. We are the worst country in the world. We have no integrity. They say corruption is high. You know, we have ignorant politics, all sorts of things they say about us. And it's not coming from people from abroad. It's coming from people who walk through here in Hinesville telling you to get rid of the Democratic Party. When you get bite by your own dog, you jinx your well better. And they get rabies. Let me tell you also here, I am a very patriotic son. I was born here on January 1st, 1966. I was the third child born in Barbados in that year, according to public record. By a lot. My neighbor Shane Berry here. Your son will go far free and do what they want to do. I am very proud of this little island we call Barbados.
Me too.
We have not bought the hell in the hell basket. When you look, for example, at healthcare, I was in Miami last weekend. I went to the funeral service of Colin Mears, our recently passed Consul General. And let me say, he was a very, very close friend of mine. Colin was a dent to the bone. Erabara was his good friend. He flew as a pilot. He flew Erabara, Eric Williams, Manny, and all of them were on the Caribbean for meetings. As I had to reflect at the funeral service, Colin Mears flew Erabara's body to Miami to be cremated, and then flew his ashes and scattered them across the Caribbean Sea. We lost his soul, his body, 2 Fridays ago, and there was a service for him last Saturday in Miami, and I was tasked to represent the government of Barbados at that funeral service. But they also gave me the chance to engage with Barbadians, the diaspora, from New York to Miami, Tampa, Atlanta, wherever. And you know what? Whilst we here in Barbados, particularly opposition benches, are criticizing this country, there are Barbadians up there who are so proud of this island. There are Barbadians up there who lament to me that without health insurance, they will die. And they are proud of the fact that the Queen Elizabeth Hospital has received gold standard when it comes to being a therapy.
Number one.
They're very proud of the fact that their relatives here in Barbados could go to school in a safe environment where nobody walks with guns and shoot people up. They're afraid of where they have to send their children to school. Many Barbadians now want to send their children back here to be educated. I met Barbadians and engaged them last weekend in Miami, who are concerned about the lack of religious freedom in the United States of America. Here in Barbados, whether you're Hindu, Muslim, Anglican, Catholic, Rastafari, whatever, we